So I just, for many of you who have been here following along for the last several years, I began this journey. My kind of speaking points typically were surrounding small business, CRM, workflow in an effort to offer AI integration, website development, new business strategy, etc., and so forth for businesses, both brick and mortar as well as online based. And I spent a significant amount of time in the first year and a half while I was driving DoorDash full time, separated from my children for no reason, legal reason, ethical reason, etc. And I basically went live while driving DoorDash, and I gave all of this information for free about how people could start their own businesses, what they should do, etc., and so forth. And since that time, it's been 6 years. All that has happened since then is that more and more and more and more and more has been taken from me. And I financially, from a space of my living situation, I can't, 3 apartments, I believe, or 1 mom cave and 2 apartments that were just mine in my name. My Cadillac, thousands of dollars. And it's not like I'm living in some mansion, where I don't need these belongings. Or it's not like I don't have 4 children, biological children that I've given birth to that need, this money or access to my Cadillac or, whatever. That was a car that was paid off in full. I paid it off. So, all of these losses have been very discouraging, to say the least. Now, I said, okay, fine. You don't want me to do that. You don't want me to, succeed or excel in small business development. You don't want me to exceed or excel in healthcare administration, which I have 10 years of experience in. You don't want me to exceed or excel in, hospitality or management. Fine. There's this effort every time I put my feet into a niche or an industry to sit me down, and I have financial responsibilities. One of them being, eating food. I have to pay for food. Like, my children, if they call me and say they're hungry, I should be able to send them money. If I decide that I'd like to take a vacation, I have the mental wherewithal to make the money to be able to support that. But it has been 6 years. 6 years. And every single time I take steps in creating and building, they start fucking around again. And it's not like they just start at that point. They have already been doing this to me for quite some time. And if you go back to the One Heather GEE, or the Merciful Storm, or the YouTube, or the blogs, any one of the numerous blogs where I've been writing about this, it's all right there. It's all right there. I wrote a 400-page or just under in handwriting explanation of all of the things I have attempted to do in business over the last 6 years that have been just physically prevented. I'm typing, all of a sudden they close the program that I'm using. I'm writing an email, all of a sudden they erase everything that I wrote, it's nowhere to be found in drafts. I am building a CRM, all of a sudden they surround me with individuals in my immediate setting, and they start tapping on my glass and saying weird stuff to me. I pull away, drive somewhere else, find a comfortable place, start working again. They, inhibit my ability. I send myself an email of the progress or what I've created with chat. All of a sudden I go check my email. It's no longer there. This is ridiculous. It really is. I say, fine, to hell with being a successful person. I'll just drive food deliveries around for years, a year and a half, 4 years in total. Is that better for you guys? I'm driving my deliveries, minding my own business, literally bothering no one. That's the next thing that they start, targeting. Heather's not delivering her deliveries. Heather did deliver all of her deliveries. Every single food delivery that I had that was to a deliverable address was delivered. And if it was not delivered, I called customer service. That's it. So blocking me from the most basic foundations of income generation and my ability to live a stable life, I'm unclear and unsure as what the goal for any of that would be. And, you know, I keep on documenting all of this and then just ignoring it and, you know, trying to pivot. How many fucking angles can I pivot? You know, you can only pivot if one foot is planted, a pivot is when you move the other foot. I've gone around the circle probably about 1 million times already. I mean, I've pivoted so much that my one foot is up here at surface level and my fucking pivot foot is about 5 foot deep. I'm burning holes in the ground from fucking pivoting. What is going on? So anyways, I'm annoyed. And I'm trying to make progress and I'm trying to rise my credit score so that I can purchase a house for my children and and I'm trying to be there for Xavier whenever possible when they're seemingly, taking control of his, I don't know what to even refer to it as, his abilities, his anything and everything other than just sitting on the side of the fucking road. Sometimes they, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. How realistic is it that someone is going to be heterosexual for 4 years and then all of a sudden put on a dress and start, doing weird stuff, laying down on the side of Lakeshore Drive for a nap in the middle of it? Like, it makes no sense. And there's very clearly something else going on here. And, my main concern with that is that, I am not being permitted to discuss all of the details of everything that has gone on. I have actually been charged with civil indirect contempt for speaking about certain things in an effort to resolve them. So how can I pivot any further? What am I supposed to do to survive and by survive, I mean build my credit score, purchase a home. To me, it's not surviving to be, without a house. To me, it's not surviving to be separated indefinitely or for an undetermined amount of time that no one feels the need to communicate with you about. I don't get it. I'm a grown-up. There's nothing wrong with me. As a matter of fact, as I've said so many times, not in an effort to upset anyone, but just in an effort to keep the record straight. I'm able to excel above average in most things, most businesses and most environments. What do I have to do that? What do I have to do? What's going on? And so I'm frustrated and I have things to do and I have bills to pay and I have goals to reach, and I'm not understanding why I am not, no matter what business I lean towards, no matter what entrepreneurial endeavor I engage in, it seems to be inhibited from some external third-party source. I'm not understanding, I sang it earlier, I'll sing it again. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense. I would say that the common defense is the right to pursue happiness and earn a legal, ethical wage, right? Promote the general welfare and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. For the United States of America. Right? Is that where I live? I'm fairly certain it is. So what's going on? What is going on here? I need to make money. I need to, continue my life. I am very frustrated. I have done everything that has been requested of me. My life has seemingly been someone else's, plaything or experiment, or I don't even know what to refer to it as anymore for the last 6 years, possibly up to the last 10 years. beginning with the David Shepard thing, the Detective David Shepard thing in 2015-16. And I have not been able to find a way to kind of shake this shit off. Every single time I find something that feels like it's working and I begin to rebuild stability, it's only intermittently permitted. And I'm looking around me. Everyone else has, a nice apartment. I'm doing deliveries in condominiums in the downtown area that are, charging between $2,000 and $14,000 a month in rent, but no one seems to be paying. How do those people get to be inside doing their work and getting paychecks? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? So I'm just frustrated. I feel like this is deja fucking vu all over again. It's so repetitive. It's so redundant. They keep on promising new experiences and new environments and new, just anything, new. And it's not. It's the same shit. It's the exact same shit over and over and over again. Xavier is sitting on the side of the fucking Museum of Contemporary Art, unable to focus on any sort of, income producing opportunity in a space where we were previously held in a fucking moving blanket. We were wrapped up in a moving blanket together through the cold months of winter, just left there. I could feel the rodents run over my back some nights. It was fucking horrendous. They promised new, exciting, happy, profitable experiences. Okay, let's see. Where, when? So I'm frustrated, and I do feel this external control, this external, sort of bullying or pulling or, harassment. And I don't really know, who needs to get involved. I don't think I could do more to advocate for myself or prove over and over and over again that I have the ability to, generate a safe, stable, morally and ethically aligned income for myself and my family. And if I will be a part of a demographic where it is deemed, unnecessary to earn money, then I would like to be communicated with in a way that ensures me, mostly it would be acceptable if it was in writing, that ensures me that I don't have any need to earn any income anymore. That if I need clothes, I could walk into any store and grab it. If my children need money for food, I could just go into the store and take whatever I need for them and bring it to them. If that is not what is going on here, then I need to be able to focus on financial stability. Hello. So anyways, I'm just frustrated. I've already compiled a list of the top 30. I was saying I've already compiled a list of the top 30 industry leaders for several various niches and industries that I have interest in working with. I just asked chat to create a sheet for me, and that's what I got. I can now, easily advertise in a pretty easy to understand structure a plethora of services that I am capable of completing in a timely manner, and a reasonable average for what people in the same field are charging for that service. But as I said, I emailed everything to me so that I could access it from my laptop, because I'm not being permitted access to Sheets, Google Sheets, or Excel from my phone. And in an effort to just create my own CRM just on a sheet, keep it simple, that's what I was trying to use. I also cannot still to this day download any external applications that have not already been downloaded to this cell phone. And no one has given me a new phone, and I haven't been, assisted in that. So I went and traded in 2 old iPhones for a Google Samsung, I think it's called a Galaxy device. But I've been having very similar, if not the exact same problems with that device. I'm able to download applications, but it does seem as though any further interaction with those applications has been only in an effort to gain photocopies of my state ID, driver's license, and other identifying documentation. And I have been reporting on this live for the last almost decade now. 6 years at least. There is a fucking problem here if these problems have been just on cycle, just to keep going for that many years, for that long. Me creating a CRM and calling businesses and offering them the services that I can very easily provide to them doesn't take away anyone else's opportunity to do the same, nor does it take away anyone else's opportunity to actually learn. I've been doing this and working in various industries, healthcare administration, other administrative capacities and offices, office management, hiring and firing, staffing, brand ambassador, spokesmodel. I've been doing all of this and more for like 20 years now. I'm not a baby in this. I'm a grown up. So come on. This is not about I need to be patient. I've been patient my whole life. I got my first minimum wage job for peons and babies and children when I was 14 years old, a little girl. I deserve this now. Enough is enough. I've been patient my whole life. Come on. Shit. And then, as you can see, the non-predatory environments that I've been promised have become, arguably, kind of predatory in a lot of ways by my definition and standards. And I'm not talking about making sales. I've revisited this thousands of times. Making an ethical sale is not predatory at all. It is not predatory. Making an unethical sale, promising something and then not delivering on promise, that is unethical. It is not unethical for a person to go to a party. It is unethical for a person to go to a party, take a sip of their drink, and realize that someone has put some sort of weird drug in there without their permission, right? This is not rocket science to be able to deem unethical, ethical, predatory, non-predatory. It's really not hard. It's easy. These distinguishments and understandings between what is and what is not, it's very basic. It really is. And so I'm just very, very, very frustrated at this point. I don't want to just drive around with no income coming in. I don't want to just sit on the side of the road in my car under deferment for my car payment this month, hoping that, next month I'm able to pay the bill. I mean, what the hell? And then I have all this on the line communication. Oh, the car payment's been taken care of. Oh, really? Can you put that in writing? Can you get me a copy of my title? Because I'm the only person who's paid on this car payment since the day I bought it. No one else, to my knowledge, unless someone paid it outright and got the title, which would be in my name as the only owner, which where is it? Then title in hand, sure, I'll park my car on the side of the road and just sit there patiently for a little while. No problem. But until then, I have bills to pay. I have things to do. And that's just a brief synopsis of what I'm legally permitted to tell you. So anyway, still no responses as to why the other two Instagrams have never been put back into circulation. The coco.chanel.ysl, which was a vlog day by day or every other day of my experiences and what I was going through when I was being prevented from accessing employment and normal housing. The second one was after I began working full-time again, 7 out of 7 days of the week for more than 2 years, in numerous different capacities, multi-role hospitality specialist, including but not limited to, floor plan, event plan, build up and breakdown of events, appetizer passing, kitchen assistance, serving, bartending, hostess duties, you name it. And then personal driving and delivery specialist, which is everything that you can imagine. Following a GPS, going to a person's home, picking them up, greeting them appropriately, giving them a safe ride to where they were going, etc. and so forth. Delivery specialist, going and picking up deliveries, working and functioning within an application-based form of technology to toggle from workflow to workflow. All of these things, I was giving a play-by-play on what was going on in my life throughout, And that was the My Brand Is Not For Sale Instagram, which was also removed from circulation or from my ability to reference. No one can tell me why. So that's 2 Instagrams that give a very thorough understanding of exactly what I've been through over the last 6 years that have been removed from circulation. The only other Instagram I have up right now is the mercifulstorm.com. And then I've got this one, What's New to You is Old to Me, which is also locked. So I am locked out of that one. And then also the Merciful Storm, and then the One Heather GEE, which is, at like 17.2 thousand followers, but who fucking cares? They locked it. It's locked. So I cannot continue, to go through all of this. I have all of the answers. I've shared all of the answers that I could share so that anyone else can go ahead and build the same style of business or something that's suitable for their own level of experience. But, here I am instead. Why? What is the purpose of this? And then I was able to go and do laundry this morning. I'm eating sunflower seeds so that I could try to shake off the, what is the word that I'm looking for? Not pesticides. There's like some sort of infection when someone or something is like feeding off of your life. Someone unauthorized, right? So not your children, not your loved ones, but just like some random that you don't even know how to identify. What is that word? I've used it like 7 times in the last week and probably 1,000,000 times in my life. Not 1,000,000, but maybe like 1,000 times in my life. It's not a hard word. Whatever. The point of the matter is I read that sunflower seeds help with keeping your digestive tract clear so that you will be less susceptible to any sort of, whatever. Any sort of unwanted presence within your digestional tract. With that being said, and then I'm drinking collagen water, and trying to budget. I don't know what is expected here. I truly do not understand. I have everything I need to make money and do business. What is the fucking problem? What is going on? What is, and it's perceived and very, very highly likely that if we get the original investigators involved from 2020 to 2022 when they were being permitted before the higher authority got involved in 2024 and began to say, no, that's not going to continue. You're not going to go stalking this girl, slandering her on the internet, creating false narratives and circulating them throughout, inhibiting her ability to work and earn an ethical living. We're not doing that. That's not effective, constitutional, lawful, ethical in any way, shape, or form. And it wasn't a problem for a while. And now here we are again. So I would perceive that either those individuals involved in doing this the first time have enlisted the help or solicited the help of third-party individuals that they've basically given a play-by-play on how to fuck with me, or it's the same group of individuals. Either way, when do we start indicting on that? Because I'm stalking absolutely no one. No one. I am in no one's phone, erasing no one's emails from their email addresses, getting in the way of no one's goals, businesses, growth, intelligence. Absolutely no one's. Not a single person's. So, that's what's going on today. I miss my children. I am more than qualified to parent them. If I am I'm being harassed all around. They're calling me slow. They're saying that I am mentally handicapped or psychologically impaired, none of which are true. They're making fun of me for having a history of various traumas, using conversations that they've ear hustled on me having with my therapist for an ordered service. I have no choice but to participate in that. Otherwise, they're threatening, not to return. It doesn't, I can't say because I'm not allowed to say, but I'm participating in an ordered service in completing therapy. And then they're using the traumas that I'm discussing in therapy to fuck with me in my day-to-day experience. So now it's like therapy's not even a safe space anymore. So how do I remain compliant to these individuals who I can't even really make a determination as to whether or not they're qualified to be in any sort of space of authority over anyone, but it doesn't seem like I have much of a choice, right? It seems like in my refusal to comply, they just make things worse and worse. And so I'm at a space right now where this is year 6 out of 10 years of blatant, undeniable, corrupt action. I have been working with the state's attorney, Wayne Jakowski, directly for 10 years. Anytime I am able, and he has already gotten on the phone with multiple other state's attorneys in numerous other sets of circumstances to give clarity that yes, this did happen. It has happened. It has been ongoing. Solutions are presented. I'm back to normal functioning. My devices seem to be cooperating. There are no issues. And then for no clear reason, it's back to this shit again. And I'm in a space of, yet again, almost near isolation. I have very little intimacy, very little communication, very surface level communications with my children. I'm not able to jump in my car and just go pick them up. They've lived with me full time their entire lives through the beginning of when this started, literally. And there have been no improvements in any of this. This, how I am now, this is how I was. But I was earning about a lot more than I am now in 2019 and 20. I was selling renewable energy. I was driving around in my Cadillac that was almost completely paid for. I was making ethical business deals on a regular basis, and I was living in my own apartment, waking up at 5, 6 in the morning, going to the gym, exercising, taking a shower, getting ready for work, making sure my children were good to go, following up on parent-teacher conferences. What's going on? Now I'm in the same set of circumstances after a period of several years of going to work every single day, doing the right thing every single day. I could not have worked more if I had a clone. Well, no, you can't because your social security. Well, maybe if I had a clone that could do the same things and whatever. The point is, what's going on here? You want me to be happy is what you say, is what you claim. I'm happy making a nice living, having money in my bank account on a regular basis, not having to ask for assistance with gas money, not having to defer my auto loan a month, having zero interaction at all whatsoever with any sort of social services, being with my family, children, and loved ones, collaborating with like-minded individuals for profitable endeavors. What's got to go on? Do I have to scream? Should I scream? Am I in some sort of enclosure that I can't perceive? Am I in some sort of simulation that I'm driving in a regular world and everything looks normal, but then they flip off the light switch and I'm actually in some sort of large dome driving on some sort of track and no one can hear me or see me and my life is on automate or something? What the fuck is going on? And to you who says PTSD is not one of those things where you just hold them in an enclosure, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing, sir. Whether or not I had a psychological illness that would require me to be in a facility or inpatient or under constant monitoring, let me tell you something about medical law and ethics. because I know a little bit about it. I have a primary doctor who I follow up with each month. No one has ever deemed me a ward of anyone else. I'm my own guardian. I don't have any third-party power of attorney. I make my own decisions legally. I'm my own attorney in the case I'm currently handling now. So even if you had some sort of questioning about whether or not I needed some sort of intervention with regards to a psychiatric alleged or implied psychiatric issue that does not exist, you would need to speak with me about that, because that's my right. I want to know, since when do we just grab individuals and say, well, you're fucking crazy, go over there, you don't get to earn a living, we'll leave you with no food, no income, no way. That's not even how crazy people are handled anyway. In what area of the United States of America are individuals not permitted a budget for meals, gas, showers? And I'm not Juliet, unless you're referring to the line of perfume that says Juliet has a gun, which means that she survives, she doesn't drink the poison, and she fucking murders everyone who's oppressing her out of income, forcing her to urinate in unacceptable locations, and separating her from everyone she wants to be around. So what do we have to do, Because I know that there are teams that are there, that are real, that have already worked out solutions to what's going on right now with my situation. I know it. I've been there. Like, I'm in this big empty parking lot, right? There's cars, but like, I'm in the empty spot, and as soon as I stop, a car pulls in right behind me and stops at my bumper. Like, why? Why are you back to that shit? Why are you back to that? Why are we back to that? Why are we back to the space where I'm being followed and fucking bothered and not permitted to earn money? And, what happened? How do we fix it? And no, I don't apply filters. If someone is applying filters automatically, it's not me. On certain days, this is just how I look. I don't know. It's like they allow me to be my best self, and then they pass me to someone else that does not allow me to be my best self, And I don't know what to make of that. Who is the God in these sets of circumstances, What's going on here? And then I thought, maybe if I saw my godmother today, I haven't seen her since my father's surgery for his jaw. Maybe if I saw her, like, literally, some days I wake up and I think, am I fucking dead? Am I dead? Like, this is not real life. There's no way this is real life. I'm driving around, doing my deliveries, no one's stalking me, then I'm being stalked again. I get an apartment at Broadway in Granville, the 1055 North Granville apartment, number 207. I tell no one that I live there. No one. Nobody. I come downstairs. There are boxes of condoms, HIV testing kits, and Bibles stacked up 7 or 8, maybe 6 to 8 feet in the lobby. Days after days after days of this in my lobby. Why? Then everything is normal again. What is going on? What's the fucking problem? Just does not seem real. So then I'm like, okay, maybe if I am dead, maybe this is what happens after we die. Like, maybe you don't just get to relax peacefully and everything's fine. Maybe you get like driven around, your life and reminded of all these various physical locations that have upset you or harmed you or made you happy or what have you for several years. And so then to that point, I thought, okay, well, maybe if I am dead, right? Maybe if I go see my godmother, she'll pass me through to heaven, So I went over there. I haven't seen her, for a while. And, nope, still here, so I'm still here. I would say that heaven would be a place that would be like a mansion, with like a bed to lay on that feels like a cloud and an unlimited budget. I feel like that's what heaven looks like. Like, heaven is just like, oh God, I think I want to have a nice steak. Oh my gosh, there's a nice steak with a side of potatoes, garlic mashed, and some French green beans. You think, oh gosh, I think I would like to have a glass of orange juice. Whoop, there it is. Like that seems like that would be heaven. That's what heaven, from where I sit, that's what happens, when you're in heaven. Oh, I think I'm tired. I think I'll take a nap. No problem. I'm not, surrounded by fucking weird creeps that are looking at me through the glass of my car like I'm an animal at the zoo. Just in my bed, safe and sound. So anyways, that's what's going on here. It's just like they make everything so fucking impossible. I just do not understand why, or what do I do to fix it? What do I do? So anyway, yeah. I'd love to continue working on one of my machines that I purchased, or that was given to me. This phone was given to me as payment for about 4 hours of working. That phone, my laptop, I got that. Purchased that from that warehouse that sells laptops, tons of laptops, for $150 to $300. Refurbished, used MacBooks, MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros, desktop Macs. It's on North Avenue and 25th in that little factory across from the, not 25th, but the small street under the bridge going west. You make a right. I think it's Rose Street. And there's like a baseball diamond there too. They have a huge secondhand kind of like estate sale looking place. Inside of there, they have all sorts of businesses. And I got, a replacement for my computer for, I think, $150 or $200. It's doing the same thing. It functions appropriately. My phone functions appropriately. My other phone functions appropriately until they start fucking with me. So when I could be here, sitting here in this parking lot, getting some work done and generating an income so that I can create solutions for my family and I, instead I'm here just, having anxiety and worry because I'm not being permitted to exercise in those rights as have been asserted by the Constitution of this country. So here's another update. And just for the record, with regards to the digital footprint, even though you people continue to, hide or lock or disrupt my communications with keeping an accurate record of the things that have been done to me and the things that I have been a witness to or a party to or what have you, and the actions I've taken to resolve them, you understand fully that all of that can be restored, correct? Just making sure. And I don't know, how many years of this, how many years of this are gonna keep going? We're in year 10. We're in year fucking 10 of this. And I can hear them like, we can't put her with I'm going to pair it for you, okay? This OTL communication. We can't put her with those people, bro. She's a fucking genius. I'm not a genius. Slightly above average, maybe, of intelligence. Yeah, we can't put her around those people when it's 5 to 5 because she's a fucking genius. Look what they came up with in just a few seconds. Look at this. And they've deleted my own email that I wrote to myself with my CRM that I began building just a few minutes ago. And they have taken the email, erased it from my inbox, and they are actively speaking in a way that I can hear about using it. Just another day in paradise. They woke me up this morning saying that if I stayed where I was going to be arrested and detained. 3:47 in the morning. OTO. That's a way to open your eyes, right? And then it's like the population goes up and down. I'm in this demographic where it's like very quiet, not so many people. I feel happy there. I feel peaceful there. I feel safe there. And then all of a sudden I pull into a parking spot and there are like 6 cars. So there's no one there or just a couple of cars, not a lot of activity as I pull up. As soon as I pull up and park, vroom, 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 all around me. All around me, but there's no communication. There's no one telling me, oh, hi, my name is so-and-so and I'm here for ... I have no idea why these people start following me again. I don't understand. I do not understand. What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? There's no one on the phone with my father, I guarantee you. So I'm definitely not a patient in healthcare, nor am I a prisoner, not of any sort of, government system. If anything, I am a normal civilian who is being, stalked and harassed for the last 10 years intermittently with no fucking solutions. What percentage of my peer group from my district do you think already purchased their first home? What percentage of them do you think got separated from their children after almost 15 years of full-time parenting for no fucking reason? No fault of their own. What percentage of my demographic do you think is able to feed their kids each day? I'd argue probably pretty fucking close to 100%. So anyways, just back to, whatever the fuck this is for whoever's entertainment, that is definitely coming at the price of my happiness, financial security, and long-term plan. So turn up, right? Also, worth mentioning, I do not speak in slang, vernacular, or incorrect grammar anymore. I have intentionally brainwashed myself into using very clear, concise, business-like articulation. I do not have any desire to have any regressions or be around demographics that would cause me to have regressions in my ability to speak clearly, enunciate, and have regular articulations. I think this is very healthy for me to interact with others and speak in a way that is articulate. And I would very much appreciate the opportunity to continue, at the very least, my education. If you're not going to allow me to make my own money, at the very least, get out of my way and let me start taking Coursera classes again, even if it's a read-only version. What the fuck? Like, if brain rot was a thing, you guys have caused it for me in so many ways. I am not even meeting half of my full potential with regards to learning and understanding and mastery of concepts and the ability to parent and teach my children, anyone, any third party who might be, interested in learning. It's very frustrating. And I have given my fair share and yours of my time explaining and answering lines of questioning and doing all of this. And not only that, I've been separated from my family members for 6 years now, And then in the absence of solutions to all of that, why don't they just clearly articulate the expectation? what is the expectation? There is never any directive being given. There is never any identification of the perceived authoritative, control. Never. And then once you figure out, have a little interaction with the authority, you start thinking, how in the fuck is this the authority here? Like, what is this? I don't know. I do not know. So that's what's going on with me. And other than that, it's a really pretty day. I'm so tired of focusing on those types of things when literal catastrophe is ensuing around me with regards to my finances and ability to do normal, regular, everyday things, like shower. So, and then I get to this demographic where they do not permit the advertisement of any sort of products. It's day by day. That's why I feel like it is partially has to be either the Sharps Modern LASIK as an explanation or some sort of simulated environment, because what is permitted with regards to the understanding of societal norms, ethical norms in marketing and sales, and the propaganda that's being distributed or portrayed in billboards, TVs, etc., and so forth. It's there's no consistency. Some days all I see are McDonald's. Literally, it's every time I engage, we're passing another McDonald's. Other days it's THC, alcohol, this drink, that bar, this, it's weird. It's so weird. There's no way for me to know, until I wake up and get there. So am I supposed to, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just, honestly, can there be some sort of direction here? Is the expectation that I just say, oh, well, to hell with it. I guess I'm not a mom anymore. I guess I'm not a businesswoman anymore. I guess I have no need to generate income for myself. I guess everything is free. I guess I could take whatever I want. I guess ... Is that the expectation? Because there's no one, coming to where I am and saying, this is what is expected. There's no one on the line, giving me any sort of feedback about what's expected. But there are a lot of shit talkers, So if I could get some direction and communication here on how to continue the pursuit of my goals and stay out of everyone else's way, that'd be phenomenal.